cold steel walls of the starship hummed softly, the sound of engines echoing through the halls. Soldiers marched with heavy boots, their armor shining under the dim blue lights. In their grip they held chains of glowing energy, and at the end of those chains was a tall figure. The alien woman struggled, her steps unsteady, her wrists and ankles burned with every pull of the cuffs. Her skin carried a faint silver glow, her long hair moving like threads of liquid under the artificial light. She looked proud, but her glowing eyes showed a deep fear. Humans, she thought, fragile, soft, mortal creatures. Yet these same creatures had done the impossible. They had captured her, a daughter of a warrior race feared across the stars. The soldiers shoved her forward into a chamber. The doors slid shut with a hiss. Inside, the air was cold and heavy. At the center of the room stood a single man, tall, wearing the dark uniform of a commander. His eyes were sharp, his face calm, but his presence felt heavier than any chain. The alien woman fell to her knees as the soldiers forced her down. She tried to rise again, but her body was weak. She looked up, her voice trembling. "Have mercy, please. I will bear you strong children," she begged. Her voice echoed in the silent chamber, a mix of pride and desperation. The soldiers looked at each other confused. Some laughed under their breath, others frowned, but none spoke. Only the commander's eyes narrowed. He stepped closer, his boots striking the floor with slow, heavy sounds. He studied her carefully, her glowing skin, her trembling body, her desperate words. Then he spoke, his voice low but firm. "Do you think we brought you here for that?" The alien's lips parted, but no words came. She could not understand. Her people had always taken prisoners to breed stronger warriors. It was their way. It was their pride. Was it not? The same for humans? The commander leaned closer, his shadow covered her face. "You have no idea why you are here," he said. Her heart pounded. She remembered the battlefield. Her army had been strong. Thousands of her kind had fought. They were faster, stronger, built for war. Yet humans had broken them, not with greater numbers, not with stronger weapons, but with something else, something she could not name. She raised her head, her voice sharper now. "You cannot defeat us forever. My people will come. They will not leave me." The commander's eyes turned cold. He straightened, his hands behind his back. "Your people already abandoned you. They ran when we crushed your fleet. They left you behind." Her chest tightened. No, that could not be true. Her race was proud. They never ran, never surrendered. Yet deep inside, doubt grew. She had seen her ships burning. She had heard the silence over her comms. Maybe he was right. Maybe she had been left alone. The silence in the chamber grew heavier. The soldiers waited, watching. The alien woman's breathing grew fast. Her glowing eyes filled with both anger and fear. "Why am I here?" she demanded, her voice cracked. "If not for children, then what do you want from me?" The commander did not answer at once. He walked around her slowly, his eyes never leaving her. The room felt like a cage, every wall closing in. Finally, he stopped behind her and said, "We want what only you can give, and it is not your body." Her blood ran cold. What did he mean? Secrets, knowledge, betrayal. She could feel the weight of those words. She shook her head, refusing to believe, but the commander's voice cut through her thoughts. "You were brought here not as a prize, not as a trophy, but as a key." The alien woman's heart pounded louder. A key? To what? Her people's empire? Their hidden fortresses? Their future plans? Her eyes widened. For the first time she felt a fear greater than death. Humans did not just want her. They wanted everything she knew. She tried to rise, chains pulling her back. "I will never betray my people," she hissed. The commander stepped forward, his face close to hers, his eyes like steel. "We will see," he said. His voice carried no anger, no cruelty, only certainty. The soldiers pulled her back, forcing her onto the cold floor. She stared at the commander, her chest rising and falling. Her pride screamed to fight, but her fear whispered that she was already lost. The room fell silent once again. Only the hum of the starship remained. The alien woman closed her eyes, her mind raced. What would humans do with her? Would her people return, or had they already abandoned her? Her last thought before the chamber door closed was not of anger, but of something new, something she never thought she would feel toward humans. Fear mixed with curiosity, and in that silence, one truth echoed in her mind. Humans were not prey, humans were hunters. The chamber lights dimmed as the alien woman sat chained. Her body was still, but her mind was burning with memories. She closed her glowing eyes and drifted back into the past, back to the world she once called home, Her race was known across the stars as the Vayari, tall, powerful, with bones denser than steel, their muscles crafted for war, their skin shimmered in silver hues, and their eyes glowed like molten fire. The galaxy whispered their name with both fear and respect. For centuries, the Vayari had conquered, enslaved, and ruled. On their homeworld, towering spires touched the sky. Each tower was a fortress, each city a training ground. Children of the Vayari were taught to fight before they could walk. Mercy was weakness, compassion was shame, strength was all that mattered. A Vayari child who could not win on. And battle was cast aside. Only the strongest survived. The alien woman remembered her youth. She had been chosen early as one of the elite. Her hands were trained to wield blades that hummed with plasma. Her body hardened under endless trials. She fought against her own kind in brutal tests. Every scar became a mark of honor. Every victory brought her closer to glory. When she grew, she rose higher, leading armies into war. Her voice commanded fleets that could blot out the stars. She had crushed rebellions, shattered resistance, and brought countless worlds under Vayari chains. She believed her people were untouchable, the eternal rulers of the galaxy. But then came the humans. At first, the Vayari laughed. Humans were small, fragile, their bodies weak compared to warriors who could tear metal apart with bare hands. The Vayari expected quick victory. They charged into battle with roaring pride, but instead of victory, they met fire, traps, and death. The alien woman remembered the war, the black space littered with burning ships, her warriors screaming as human fleets moved like hunters, not prey. The Vayari fought with brute strength, but humans fought with patience. With every battle, the humans learned, adapted, and grew stronger. She saw again the battlefield where her fleet had fallen. Her warriors rushed in lines, shining with power, but humans had laid hidden traps. Mines tore through their armor. Decoys misled their fleets. And when the Vayari thought they had cornered the humans struck from behind. The woman's pride had cracked that day. For the first time, she felt fear. Her people, the mighty Vayari, had been broken not by power, but by cunning. In the chamber, she opened her eyes, staring at the human commander who stood silent across the room. She remembered her warriors, her friends, her people, and wondered, how could such fragile creatures defeat us? The truth gnawed at her heart. Humans were not like any other race. They did not fight for pride. They did not fight to show strength. They fought for survival, for each other. They sacrificed themselves in ways the Vayari could not understand. Her people had always looked down on the weak. They had no word for unity, only for dominance. But humans were different. They bled for each other. They shared pain. They fought as one. And that was something far stronger than individual might. Her chest tightened with confusion. She wanted to hate them, yet a part of her could not. A part of her feared them in ways deeper than fear of death. The commander's voice broke her thoughts, calm but heavy. Your people thought themselves eternal, but nothing eternal stands forever. Not when it faces us. His words stung. She clenched her fists against the chains. You are insects, she hissed. My people are gods. But even as she spoke, she knew her words rang hollow. Gods do not beg. Gods do not fall. Gods do not sit in chains on a human ship. She remembered her father, a warlord who once told her, if the Vayari ever fall, it will not be to strength, but to something we cannot see. At the time, she had laughed. Now those words haunted her. The silence in the chamber grew heavy again. The soldiers stood watching, their weapons at the ready. The alien woman's eyes burned with shame. Yet deep inside, fear whispered. Perhaps the Vayari were not gods after all. Perhaps they were only flesh and pride. Her thoughts raced faster. If humans could defeat her people, what would happen to the galaxy next? Would humans rise to rule? Would they enslave as the Vayari once did? Or would they create something new, something terrifying in its own way? She looked again at the commander. His face was calm, not cruel. His eyes carried neither hatred nor arrogance, only a sharp certainty. That certainty was more frightening than any weapon. It was the certainty of a predator that had already won. Her pride screamed to fight, to spit in his face, to die with honor. But her survival instincts whispered louder. If her people had fallen, then only she remained. And if she remained, she had to live, no matter the cost. Her voice trembled as she whispered, if my people are gone, then what am I? The commander did not answer. He simply turned his back and walked toward the door. His voice echoed as he left. You are proof that even gods can bleed. The door hissed shut behind him. Darkness filled the chamber. The alien woman lowered her head. For the first time in her life, she felt truly alone. And yet, in that silence, a new thought began to grow. A dangerous thought. If the Veari were not the strongest, then maybe humans were, and that realization shook her soul more than any chain ever could. The alien woman sat in silence, her chains glowing faintly. Her body was strong, but her spirit carried cracks. Memories of her people's fall played again and again in her mind. Yet one question haunted her more than all others. How did humans win? The chamber door opened with a hiss. The human commander stepped inside, his face calm, his boots striking the floor with steady rhythm. Behind him came two officers, carrying holographic projectors. They placed the devices on the table and light filled the room. Images appeared, glowing above the table, scenes of war, broken ships and burning skies. The woman's eyes widened. She saw the battles again, but now from a different view. The commander pointed at the display, his voice steady. "You wonder how we defeated you." Her jaw tightened. She wanted to deny it, but her silence betrayed the truth. "You thought strength was enough," he continued. "You thought speed, power, and pride could win, but strength alone is nothing when facing those who adapt." The images shifted, showing human soldiers moving through ruined cities. They were smaller, weaker, yet they worked together, covering each other, saving each other. No soldier was left behind. No sacrifice was wasted. The alien woman's chest tightened. Her people never fought like this. If one warrior fell, another stepped over their body. They never cared, but humans cared, and somehow that gave them more fire. The commander's voice grew sharper. "You fought as individuals. We fought as one. You fought for pride. We fought for survival. That is why you lost." The alien woman's hands trembled in their cuffs. She remembered how her warriors had broken ranks, each one seeking glory, while humans moved like one body, like one living mind. She whispered, almost to herself, "But you are fragile. Your bones snap. Your skin tears. You cannot withstand what we can." The commander leaned closer, his eyes piercing hers. "Yes, our bodies break," he said, "but our will does not. And when one human falls, 10 more rise. That is what you never understood." The hologram changed again, showing a moment from the battle, a human squad trapped against the Veari forces. The alien woman remembered this. She had seen the squad cornered, she had laughed, she had thought them doomed, but now she saw it from another angle. She saw the humans lay traps, wires buried in rubble, explosives hidden in the ground. When her warriors charged, the humans triggered the trap. Fire erupted, metal ripped apart. Her proud soldiers fell screaming, her breath caught. That single squad had destroyed 10 times their number, not with strength but with wit, with sacrifice. The commander's voice pressed into her mind. "You measure power with muscles and bones. We measure power with unity and ideas. That is why we will always be stronger." She clenched her fists, her pride screaming, but the truth could not be denied. The Veari had fallen not to weapons sharper than theirs, but to minds sharper. The commander stepped back, his hands behind his back. His presence filled the room like a storm. "You thought we were prey," he said, "but we were hunters all along." Her glowing eyes met his. For the first time, she felt the weight of his words not as insult, but as truth. Humans, fragile in body, but unstoppable in spirit. She shook her head, her voice trembling. "It cannot last. Pride will fade. Unity will break. No race can hold it forever." The commander gave a cold smile. "Perhaps, but it has carried us farther than you ever imagined, and it will carry us farther still." The soldiers around the room stood straighter, their faces lit by the hologram's glow. The alien woman saw no fear in their eyes, only fire, the same fire that had burned her fleets. She closed her eyes. The sound of screams from the battlefield echoed in her head, the cries of her people dying, the shouts of humans fighting. That fire haunted her. For the first time she realized something she had never allowed herself to believe. Her people had not lost by accident. They had lost because humans were truly stronger, not in body, but in heart. The commander's voice grew quieter, almost like a whisper meant only for her. "You call us fragile, yet here you are, chained, broken, begging. Tell me, who is fragile now?" Her breath shook, her pride screamed to deny it, to spit at him, to laugh. But no laughter came, only silence, heavy and painful. The hologram shut off, plunging the room back into dim light. The commander turned toward the door, His last words before leaving echoed in her soul. Remember this, the galaxy does not belong to the strongest body, it belongs to the strongest will. The door closed with a hiss. The alien woman sat in the darkness, her chains heavy, her heart heavy. Ear! She lowered her head, her glowing eyes flickered with confusion, fear, and something new, a feeling she had never known, a reluctant respect. Her mind whispered again and again, humans are not prey, humans are hunters, and that thought shook her more than any battlefield ever had. The chamber was silent, the hum of the starship the only sound. The alien woman sat on the cold floor, her chains glowing faintly. She had begged, she had argued, she had remembered the glory of her race, but none of it mattered now. Humans had defeated her people, and she was their prisoner. When the door opened, she expected soldiers. Instead, the commander entered with 2 officers. This time he carried no weapon, only a small device. Its surface shimmered with blue light, humming like a living heart. He placed the device on the table. The alien woman frowned, her eyes narrowing. She knew that shape. She had seen it before in the deepest chambers of her people's strongholds. It was a memory scanner. Her chest tightened. She hissed, "No, you cannot use that on me." The commander's voice was calm. "We will not force it, not yet. But you already know why you are here." Her lips trembled. She shook her head. "You do not understand what you are asking. The secrets I hold are not mine alone. They belong to the Vayari Empire. If I reveal them, I am already dead." The commander's gaze was sharp. "Dead to who? To the people who abandoned you? To the empire that left you behind? You still cling to pride that has already cast you aside." Her heart burned with anger, but the wound of betrayal was fresh. She remembered the silent calms, the absence of rescue, the cruel words from her leaders. Captured, you are nothing to us. Her own people had condemned her. The commander leaned forward, his voice like a blade. "You are not here as a prize. You are here as a key. You hold knowledge that can end wars, knowledge that can save lives or destroy them. The choice is yours." The alien woman's glowing eyes widened. She realized the truth. They did not want her body. They did not want her strength. They wanted what was locked in her mind. Codes to fleets, locations of strongholds, the weaknesses of her kind. Her chains felt heavier than ever. She whispered, "If I speak, if I betray them, the Vayari will never forgive me. They will hunt me, even across the stars." The commander's eyes did not soften. "Perhaps, but if you remain silent, you gain nothing. You will die here, alone, forgotten, just another relic of a fallen race." Her mind raced. Pride pulled her in one direction, survival pulled her in another. The Vayari never forgave betrayal, but the Vayari also no longer came for her. She was abandoned, discarded like ash. The commander tapped the device gently. "This scanner could take the memories from you, but I prefer choice. Tell me willingly, and you remain more than a tool. You become something greater. You become an ally." His words struck her deeper than she wished. An ally, not a slave, not a prisoner, but something different. Still, she shook her head, her voice breaking. "You do not understand. The Vayari code is not just numbers and signals. It is sacred. To give it away is to give away our soul." The commander's voice sharpened. "Then tell me, alien, did your people keep their soul when they left you behind? Did they keep their honor when they fled and abandoned you in chains?" Her breath caught. Her pride screamed to shout back, but no words came. The truth was too heavy. The Vayari had left her. They had chosen survival of the many over loyalty to one, and now, here she sat, forced to face what she never wanted to believe. The silence pressed like iron around her. Finally, she lowered her head, whispering, "If I tell you there is no going back, I will never again be Vayari." The commander did not move closer. He simply spoke, firm and certain. "Then do not go back. Step forward. There is more power in change than in chains." Her heart trembled. His words struck like lightning. Could she change? Could she break free not just of chains, but of her own past? For a long moment, she sat in silence. Then her eyes lifted, glowing faintly. "What do you want first?" she asked softly. The commander's face did not change, but his officers glanced at each other in surprise. He answered calmly, "We want the location of your forward bases, the hidden supply routes, the codes that could end your empire's reach." Her breath shook. She closed her eyes. Images flooded her mind. Maps, stars, secret outposts carved into asteroids, codes carved into her memory since youth. They were weapons more powerful than any blade. If she gave them, she gave everything. Tears, silver and faint, gathered at the corners of her glowing eyes. "If I do this," she whispered, "then I am no longer Vayari. I am nothing." The commander's voice cut through the air, strong and final. "No, if you do this, then you are something more. You are free." Her heart pounded. For the first time in her life, she faced a choice that was hers alone. No warlord, no empire, no tradition to command her. Just her, chained yet deciding. She breathed deep, her glowing eyes met his. And in that moment she realized the greatest truth of all. Humans did not just win battles, they won choices. They gave choices, where her people gave none. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "I will tell you, but not tonight. Tomorrow, you will have your answer." The commander gave a single nod. He turned and walked toward the door. His last words echoed in the cell. "Hamber. Then tomorrow, the galaxy changes." The door closed. The alien woman sat in the cold silence, her chest rising and falling, her mind torn between betrayal and survival. And yet, a small spark of something new flickered inside her, something her people had never allowed her to feel. Hope. The alien woman sat alone in the chamber, her wrists heavy with chains, her mind heavier with doubt. She had promised an answer, yet her heart twisted with fear. If she gave humans the secrets of her people, she would lose everything. But if she stayed silent, she would lose herself. The door hissed open, but no commander entered this time. Instead, an officer placed a small device before her. It flickered with light, carrying a message straight from her empire. Her chest tightened. She leaned forward, her glowing eyes wide. The screen revealed the emblem of the Vayari warlords, a mark of power. Then words scrolled across the light, not spoken but carved into her heart. "You are captured. You are useless. You are dead to us." Her breath caught. The chains rattled as her hands shook. She whispered in disbelief, "No, no, they would not." But the message remained cold and final. There was no rescue, no forgiveness. Her people had abandoned her completely. She was no longer Vayari in their eyes, only a failure. Her heart cracked. She remembered the battles she had fought, the scars she carried, the blood she spilled for her empire. And now, with a few cruel words, all of it was erased. The officer turned away, leaving her in silence. The chamber felt colder than ever. The alien woman lowered her head, silver tears slipping down her glowing cheeks. She was a warrior, trained never to cry, yet her soul was broken. Hours passed, perhaps days. She lost track of time. Hunger gnawed at her. Thirst burned her throat. She expected torture, expected cruelty. Instead, the door opened. Ned again and a soldier stepped in carrying food and water. He placed the tray before her without a word. Warm bread, clean water, even a small fruit. She stared at it in disbelief. Her people never fed prisoners, never gave kindness, but the humans. They had. Her pride told her to refuse. Her body betrayed her. She reached for the bread with trembling hands. The taste was simple, yet it filled her chest with something she did not understand. The soldier watched her for a moment, then said softly, "No one deserves to starve," and left the chamber. Her eyes widened. The words echoed in her mind. No one deserves to starve. Her own kind would never say such a thing. To them, mercy was weakness. But to humans, mercy was strength. She leaned back against the cold wall, her heart trembling. Could it be true? Could compassion be more powerful than cruelty? Could kindness break chains more than pain ever could? When the commander returned, she did not shout. She did not beg. She only lifted her eyes to him, glowing with confusion and sorrow. "Why?" she asked softly. "Why give me food, water, life, when I am your enemy?" The commander stood silent for a long moment. Then his voice came, steady and sure. "Because we are not you." Her heart skipped. She wanted to argue, to tell him mercy was weakness, but she could not. His words struck too deeply. The silence stretched, and the commander spoke again. "You have a choice. You can remain loyal to an empire that has thrown you away, or you can choose a new path. You can choose survival, not as a prisoner, but as someone more." Her chest tightened. The words felt impossible, yet after the message from her people, what was left? If she was already dead to them, then what was she now? She remembered her father's words long ago. The greatest enemy is not the blade that cuts you, but the choice that tempts you. At the time she thought it was nonsense. Now she understood. She stared at the commander, her voice weak. If I betray them, if I give you what you want, then who am I? The commander's eyes did not waver. You are not betraying them. They betrayed you first. You are not giving up your honor. You are finding it. Her mind swirled. The truth pressed against her like iron. She wanted to resist, but resistance crumbled with every memory of her empire's cruelty. Every scar, every sacrifice, all thrown away with a single message. The chains felt lighter now, not because they were gone, but because her pride was breaking. She whispered, "If I join you, will I ever be free?" The commander's voice was calm. "Freedom is never given, it is taken. If you choose it, it will be yours." Her glowing eyes filled with fire, not of hatred, but of something new. Something she had never been allowed to feel before, hope mixed with fear. She lowered her head, whispering, "Then maybe it is time I choose." The commander gave a small nod. His voice echoed in the chamber. "This is the turning point, alien. You decide who you are now, not your empire, not your chains, only you." The door closed behind him, leaving her in silence once again. But this silence was different. It was not the silence of despair, it was the silence before change. Her chest rose and fell, her eyes glowed brighter. For the first time in her life, she was not a daughter of the Vayari, not a servant of empire. She was simply herself. And that thought, terrifying and beautiful, shook her more than any battle ever had. The chamber was quiet, only the steady hum of the ship filling the air. The alien woman sat with her head bowed, her chains glowing faintly, but her spirit no longer felt as heavy. For the first time in her life, she was not thinking about her empire, not thinking about her duty. She was thinking about herself. The door opened and the human commander stepped inside. His steps were calm, his presence firm. Behind him, two soldiers waited, but their weapons were lowered. The tension of an enemy had shifted into something else. The commander's eyes fixed on her. "Have you decided?" he asked. His voice carried no anger, only certainty. The alien woman lifted her glowing eyes. Her voice trembled, but there was fire within. "I have," she said. "I will not die for an empire that abandoned me. I will not be a shadow of a race that left me behind. If I must survive, I will survive with you." The soldiers exchanged looks of surprise. The commander's expression did not change. He gave a single nod. "Then stand, not as our prisoner, but as our ally." Her chains released with a hiss. The glowing cuffs faded, and for the first time since her capture, her hands were free. She rubbed her wrists, staring at the marks left behind. They were scars of captivity, but also marks of change. The commander gestured to the officers. They activated a new hologram. Stars filled the chamber, maps of the galaxy spreading wide. The commander spoke. "You know roots we do not, secrets of your empire. If you stand with us, you can save lives, not just human, but many. You can help end the cruelty your people built." Her chest tightened. She looked at the stars, countless worlds her people had crushed, countless races enslaved. She had been part of it, had carried out those commands without question. But now, perhaps, she could undo some of the damage. Her voice was low, almost a whisper. "If I give you what I know, then my people will hunt me. I will be their greatest enemy." The commander's voice was steady. "They already abandoned you. You are already their enemy, but with us, you are not alone." Those words struck deep. With the Vayari, she was always alone, always fighting, always proving, never safe. With humans, even in chains, she had been fed, cared for, offered choice, something she never received from her own kind. Her glowing eyes burned brighter. "Then I will help you," she said, "not because I am broken, but because I choose it." The commander gave his first true smile, brief but sharp. "Then today, you are no longer a captive. Today, you begin again." The soldiers stepped forward, but not to chain her. Instead, one handed her clean clothing, the dark uniform of the crew. She hesitated, staring at it. To wear human cloth was to leave behind the last symbol of her people. But she knew she had already left them behind. Slowly, she took the uniform and stood. Her tall figure loomed in the chamber, no longer a prisoner, but not yet fully free. She dressed in silence, her mind racing. The commander studied her, then spoke. "You will be watched, not because we do not trust you, but because trust is earned. But know this, you are not our slave. You are not our trophy. You are our choice. And in time, you may become more than ally. You may become family. Her chest shook. The word family was strange to her. The Vayari had no such word. They had commanders, soldiers, warlords, but no family. And yet in this moment she felt the meaning. Humans fought for family. They lived for it, died for it. She whispered the word under her breath, tasting it like something forbidden but sweet. Family. The commander turned toward the door. Come, there is much work to do. The galaxy waits. She followed him, her steps heavy but steady. The soldiers moved aside, not out of fear, but out of respect. For she was no longer just a prisoner walking in chains, she was walking into a new role. As they moved through the ship's corridors, humans glanced at her. Some stared with suspicion, others with curiosity, but none mocked. None treated her as prey. Instead, they treated her as something dangerous, yes, but also as something worthy. Her heart pounded. For the first time, she felt something more powerful than pride. She felt belonging. They reached the command deck. Stars stretched across the windows, endless and bright. The commander stood at the center, his hands behind his back. From this day, he said firmly, you are part of something greater. The Vayari fought to dominate, we fight to protect. And if you stand with us, you will see why humans are feared and followed alike. She stood beside him, her glowing eyes reflecting the stars. In her heart, fear still lingered, doubt still burned, but stronger than both was the spark of something new, hope. The alien woman whispered softly, perhaps the galaxy belongs not to the strongest body, but to the strongest heart. The commander glanced at her, and for a moment she thought she saw respect in his eyes. The ship surged forward into the stars, carrying with it a new story. The story of an alien once feared, now standing with humans. The story of enemies who became allies. The story of why humans are special, for in the end, the galaxy did not fear their strength. It feared their will. It feared their compassion. It feared their hope. And that was the beginning of something greater than war. It was the beginning of a future, a new beginning.